Back in our Bank Plus studios in the Superdome. Time now to focus on the Appalachian State Mountaineers, joined by head coach Shawn Clark. And your team 10-4 overall a year ago, 7-1, won the East, lost to Louisiana in the championship game. Thanks for being back with us, by the way. And as we sit here 4 months out from the championship game in 2022, you're predicted to face the Ragin' Cajuns again. So kind of take us through what goes through your mind as you sit here at the end of July, thinking ahead through the entire season towards the ultimate goal.
Well, I guess, anytime you talk about our program, is you never not think about football season, and you're always thinking about what can you do to put your team in a position to be successful this season. Again, we're coming off a 10-4 season this past year, 10-2 in the regular season, played for a conference championship. So we have all the right keys, the ingredients to be successful, and we look forward to getting started August the 3rd.
Yeah, I read where you said, or were quoted as saying that you feel like some people may have felt like App State's lost its touch. It's been a couple of years since you won the Sun Belt Championship. Is it that, or is it just that the Sun Belt, as we watch Curt Cignetti and James Madison, a national power in FCS, and 3 other new teams join the Sun Belt?
Well, everyone's getting better right now.
Yeah.
And again, people say we lost our touch, but we won 10 football games last year, won the East, played for a championship, and played in a bowl game. So we have a tough schedule starting off here, the 2022 season, opening up in North Carolina and Boone, and then going on the road versus probably a top 5 team in Texas A&M. So we'll know where we stand early, and that'll prepare us for the Sun Belt games this season.
I would say, App State's probably the patron saint of every FCS program that wants to make the jump to FBS. You've set a record, 7 years of bowl eligibility and 7 bowl games. No one's ever done that in their first 7 seasons in FBS. So what's been the secret sauce, the key ingredient to being able to take that success that you had at FCS and convert it and keep it going at FBS?
Well, I think you have to recruit your kind of guys. What do you think to be successful? We don't really get caught up in the stars, if you will, of he has this many scholarship offers, or he hasn't been offered this guy. We recruit our kind of guys, and that's been successful for us. Guys who want to get a world-class degree and play for championships, we like those guys, and guys who love football. And I still believe we have to recruit tough guys because toughness wins.
Yeah, and to your point, I got into a little bit of a Twitter debate over the last month or so. It really wasn't a debate. I think you misunderstood what I was saying. But to your point, App State's always usually in the middle of the quote-unquote recruiting rankings for the Sun Belt, yet you always seem to be at the top of the recruiting standings. That kind of leads a little evidence and testimony to what you're talking about there in your recruiting philosophy.
Without question, what we do a great job of evaluating. So every kid that we sign on a scholarship comes to our campus, and we do our own evaluation on campus. And again, recruiting, it's a guessing game sometimes, but again, if you know what you're looking for, what you need in your program to be successful, then that's what we want to find out. But again, toughness, loves football, and wants to get a world-class degree.
Season tickets sold out for the first time ever. That's a huge accomplishment. There are a lot of Power Fives that can't do that or have never done that. Sold out for your home opener against North Carolina, nationally televised game on ESPNU. Is that the biggest, and I know you had Miami in there not too long ago, is that the biggest regular season home game in Kidd Brewer Stadium history?
It will be the biggest game ever in the history of Appalachian State. It'll be 40,000 plus fans in the stands that game. And again, we've sold out all of our season tickets for season ticket holders. And then right now, we're going to announce pretty soon when more games sold out. So last year we set the all-time attendance record for the Sun Belt and for Appalachian State. And if things keep continuing, then we'll set another record this year.
Let's take a look at some of your personnel. Let's start with Chase Brice, who's going to be talking to Rocky here in the not-too-distant future. Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year last year. He's all Sun Belt second team this year. I've been watching Chase since he was a sophomore, playing for his uncle, Mickey Kahn, at Grayson High School in Atlanta. What are you expecting out of Chase this year?
Well, anytime you have a returning quarterback coming back to your program, you have a chance to be successful. But, this is the way Chase demands the huddle, demands the offense. And again, he has instant credibility right now. I mean, he came in and set the all-time passing record at Appalachian State. He wants to win, and he wants to do it the right way. So we're happy to have Chase here. He's played at the highest levels in the Power Five, and now he's here at the Group of Five in the Sun Belt, and we're happy to have him here.
Once a backup to Trevor Lawrence, how many people get to say that, right? The number 1 draft pick in in the National Football.
I'm not sure what kind of backup he was, but we're glad we have him here at Appalachian
He got
State.
to play. He backed up. There's no doubt about it. He's over there chuckling. How about your running back room? Cameron Peoples, his first team all-conference. Nate Noel, his second team. Daedric Harrington comes back. He'd been hurt. Monty Marshall added transfer from Wake. You always seem to have the best running back room, not in just Group of Five, but maybe in all of college football. And the funny thing is, you always seem to find a way to use them all.
Yeah. Again, we have a deep room right now in our running back room, and everyone talks about Cam Peoples and Nate Noel, and those are 2,000-yard rushers right there you have. But 2 years ago, people might say Daedric Harrington was the best running back we had. And you also add in there Monty Marshall and Anderson Castle, and we also have Kanye Roberts, who led all the high school rushing last year. He came in the spring and really made a mark on his name in our program. So we'll have to be creative. There's only one football. We have to throw the football. So Chase would get upset if we didn't throw the football. So we're going to keep throwing the football and really do what the defense allows us to do. If they want to load the box, we're going to throw it deep. If they want to play two deep safeties, we're going to run the football.
Well, in order to run the ball, you got to be able to block for them. Cooper Hodges, Damian Daly, these are all conference players. Anderson Hardy's back. He was all conference honors last year as a freshman. Unfortunately, Bear Hunter's gone, and I hate that because I love just saying his name.
Yeah, we're returning 4 out of the 5 starting linemen our unit up there, and those guys have a lot of pride about themselves, and they want to put a great product on the football field. And I was fortunate enough to recruit and to coach Anderson and Cooper, and now I'm the head coach. I got a chance to watch them from afar. So we have everything we need to be successful. We have here at Appalachian State.
You mentioned Chase likes to throw the ball. The question now becomes, who does he throw it to? You lost 3 of your all-conference wide receivers. Corey Sutton's gone, Thomas Hennigan's gone, Malik Williams is gone, Jalen Virgil, who earned honors as a returner, was also a wide receiver. What's the passing game look like downfield?
I'm very excited about our passing game. We did lose all 4 of those receivers. All 4 of those receivers are in an NFL camp right now. But we have Christian Horn and Christian Wells, who have played a lot of football, but hasn't been the mainstay in our offense. And we added Caden Robinson from Central Florida and Tyler Page from SMU. And we also have kind of an unknown name, a kid named Dalton Stroman, that I think when 5 years down the road, we might say that might be the best player ever come through Appalachian State.
Wow, best ever to come through App State.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. Defensive side of the ball, you lose the Defensive Player of the Year from the Sun Belt Conference to Marco Jackson. In fact, he's going to play right here in the building that we're sitting in this season. He was drafted by the New Orleans Saints. And, a lot of times, when it comes to Player of the Year, there's a lot of debate. To me, there was no debate as to whether he was the Defensive Player of the Year. It was just a matter of how many votes does he get. Right. I mean, he was phenomenal. You'll miss him.
Yeah, he's a special player, and it's hard to replace that much production points in your defense. But we have a lot of returners coming back on defense. We have Stephen Jones, who's All-American last year. We have all these different keys. Jordan Earl's in there. We have Jalen McLeod. We have different players that have played a lot of football. Nick Hampton, he's really changed his body the last 6 months. He's probably 6'3", 245 pounds right now. Has long arms, rangy. He can rush the passer, he can drop in coverage. So I like where we are. We also return Trey Cobb at linebacker. So we have a lot of keys on defense to be successful. We have some young guys to step up. But again, those guys have played last year. And the one thing I like about our defense is our team speed. I think we have a lot of team speed on defense, and it won't change this year. Yeah,
Trey Cobb is a Georgia player out of Ware County High School. I've seen him play a number of times. You mentioned Nick, who had 11 sacks, I think it was, and 17 and a half tackles for loss last year. But what about the defensive line? When I think about your team, that's always a big part, your 3-man defensive front. They're not necessarily going to have a lot of big stats because your linebackers are getting the stats while they're doing all the dirty work. What about up front?
Well, I love Jordan Earl playing our nose guard position. He's the guy that takes up both A-gaps.
Yeah.
And again, our defensive line, they don't have the stats to show it because they're always getting the defenders off the linebackers. And we're going to roll some safeties down in the box and stop the run and don't get beat over top. But I like where we are. I like our young defensive line. And I do think that when it's all said and done, we'll be very solid at D-line this year.
Really looking forward to it. How's it feel to be the team that everybody's always aiming at?
Well, that's a good. Again, we make no bones about it. When you come to Appalachian State, you come here to get a world-class degree and play for championships. I'd rather be picked first than picked last. But we always want to start with the end in mind. And preseason rankings really don't matter, but it's good to have your name at the front.
The end in mind is the Sun Belt Championship game and then beyond, depending upon how well you do in that. And, of course, App State's picked to play Louisiana again in that Sun Belt Championship game. We'll find out about that 4 months from now. Rocky, we're going to send it over to you.
Very good, Matt. Thank you. I'm here with quarterback Chase Brice and cornerback Stephen Jones, who had 5 interceptions last year. Chase, I want to start with you. Last year, a 10-win season. Most programs are doing backflips at that. The standard is so high at App that it almost feels like not enough. Talk about why you think this team can even exceed what they did last year.
I just think we're really hungry. Going off 2 losses back-to-back, it's never ideal. I don't think that's ever happened at App until it's been a long time ago. But I think losing those games and then just like the hunger we've had in the spring, summer workouts, our effort is never questioned in mind. It's just all of us coming together, coming as one, and proving us right that we know we can exceed, 10, 11, get to 12, and why not us? Why not us being an undefeated team?
Now, you yourself answered a lot of questions 1 year ago, right? Coming in from Duke and all that, played phenomenal, 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns. You had an off season, right, with this program in this system. Talk about how valuable that was for you.
Yeah, I think 2020 was a tough year for everybody, and especially Zoom, even academics was stressful. So, learning on the fly there, and then compared to having an off season, a true spring, true summer, getting to know my teammates, being fully immersed into the program and buying in, really helped me and settled me down. I've always been a confident quarterback, confident person, and last year just kind of like reproved to myself that I deserve to be out on that field and I can hang with most.
As we talked about, a great season for you personally last year. Kind of turned App State into an aerial attack, right? What were some things this offseason you've worked on where you think, hey, I can maybe even get even better?
Yeah, definitely be able to run the ball, be a threat with my legs, whether that's just extending plays, getting 5, 6, 7, 10, break 15 yards, anything that I can do to help our O-line, our backs, and then especially the receivers. And if they're focused on me, then I know I have an opportunity to get it to my playmakers. And then just being consistent. That's kind of the name of the game. Everybody looks at how consistent you are from years past and how you respond to adversity. So those three characteristics right there are really things that I looked at.
Speaking about running the ball, Coach talked about like 6 running backs in your running back room, right? Does the identity of this offense maybe switch back to being a run-first offense, do you think?
I think we're explosive in both areas. Running the ball, like we said, we have a stable of backs. Me being able to throw it, we have great receivers, great hands. We're very fast on the outside, shifty inside, and just smart football players. And I think we have a great recipe for a balanced attack and ready for what a defense brings to us.
And Steve, I want to talk to you. Last year, your defense, 6th in the nation in tackles for loss, a real attacking style defense. Talk about how you guys think you can improve this year.
We can really improve on just doing our part, not getting no flags, staying on the ball, stuff like that. Just me, personally, I can just do a better job on doing my job and being more consistent and just staying on top.
Think you can get 6 picks this year?
More.
There you go. Heard it here. Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Matt, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Rocky. Looking forward to seeing the Appalachian State Mountaineers defend that Eastern Division title this year.